Hello my beautiful friends, and welcome to what I eat in a week as a vegan of almost 10 years. This week was honestly a pretty busy one and I was eating a lot of really quick and easy meals, but I hope that you will enjoy. A big thank you to my friends at Squarespace, which is the all-in-one platform to help grow your business, for sponsoring this video. So Monday morning started with an iced cacao, and if you've been around my channel for a while, you will most definitely remember the height of my iced cacao era. Anyway, after a bit of a break, I am really getting back into loving making my iced cacaos at home, which I do by pouring soy milk over some ice, mixing together some cacao, maple syrup and hot water, and pouring this over. Honestly, it is just the perfect start to the day. When it came to breakfast, I started by placing a frying pan over medium heat. I drizzled in some olive oil and added in diced brown onion. After frying that up, I added in tomato paste, butter beans, soy sauce, smoked paprika, barbecue sauce, and some liquid smoke. And so yes, I am making some delicious homemade baked beans for breakfast on this Monday morning. When it comes to baked beans, my favorite way to serve them is on some toasted sourdough with cashew cream on top. And honestly, this has got to be like my favorite breakfast right now. It is super hearty, super tasty, and super simple to make. Later that day, I was in the mood for some rice paper rolls, and so I started by frying up some firm tofu, just super simply in some oil, some salt, and some pepper. Then I assembled the rice paper rolls in honestly my favorite way. I feel like I never mix up the way that I make rice paper rolls because this just works so well for me every single time. I roll some rice noodles, carrot, cucumber, tofu, and coriander in the rice paper, and I repeat. I always love serving these with a peanut butter sauce, so that is exactly what I did, and it was just an absolutely lovely lunch. Okay, so happy Monday. It is 4 o'clock and I have just finished work for the day. Had a big day editing today, so I am keen to chill out for a bit this afternoon before I head out this evening. I'm gonna make some sweet treats for the week, which I know to some people that might not be like a relaxing self-care kind of thing to do, but to me it is. I love doing it so much, and I also just love having a sweet treat in the fridge that I have prepped that I can enjoy throughout the week. So I'm gonna make these no-bake peanut butter chocolate protein bar kind of things. They are really good. I've been making them on repeat recently, and I've made them for a few friends who have absolutely loved them. And one of the ingredients that I've put in them are these soy protein crisps, which I'd seen people using in like sweetie treaties for a few years, but I had never been able to find them. Recently I have found them, and I have been using them a lot in making like little fun sweet treats. So they're gonna go in there today, as well as a handful of other ingredients. And yeah, I'll show you how I make this because I haven't shared this recipe online before, but it is so good and so easy and so tasty. So I hope you'll love it. Okay, so I start by adding almond meal, protein powder, peanut butter, maple syrup, and salt into a mixing bowl, and I mix this all together until a dough forms. Then I'm gonna add in these soy protein crisps and mix them in well. Then I'm going to use a square container which I lined with baking paper, and I press the dough in and evenly spread it out. Then I pour over this delicious chocolate mixture, I spread it out evenly, crack some salt over the top, and I place it in the fridge to set for about an hour. Once it's all set, I remove the baking paper and I cut it into squares, and I have my sweetie treaty for the week all ready to go on a Monday, which is just honestly lovely. I ended up having a super busy night, and when it came to dinner, I just wanted something so simple. So I just started by cutting up some broccoli. I placed it into a frying pan with some olive oil, salt, and pepper, and fried it up until it was nice and crispy. Now to go with the broccoli, or I guess for the broccoli to go with is what I should probably say, I made some of this well and good mac and cheese, which I really enjoy getting from the health food store when I'm there, just to have in the house for a night like this essentially. So I cooked this up as per the packet instructions. I served it with the crispy broccoli, and then I called it a night. So for breakfast on Tuesday, I decided to have my favorite simple savory breakfast. It's just this delicious cashew cheese on some toasted sourdough with some sliced tomato, salt, and some pepper. you'll probably know by now that I love a little sodally with my lunch, so I enjoyed that very much so. And then I made a really quick and simple lunch. I've been loving this satay tofu as a really quick and easy protein source, and so I started by cutting this up into cubes and then also cutting up some broccolini. You'll honestly see why this lunch is so simple. I just add both of these into a frying pan and I fry them up for about 5 minutes, and then I serve them with some rice. Honestly, I've just been leaning so much into simple lunches lately whilst work has been so busy, and this has been one of my absolute favorites. In the afternoon, I snacked on one of my chocolate peanut butter protein bars, and when it came to dinner, my boyfriend and I cooked our favorite noodle soup. This is just such a go-to in our home because it's tasty, balanced, hearty, and delicious. And I just fill the bowls with some ramen noodles, followed by a creamy miso and corn broth, and then top it with some crispy tofu, broccoli, and pak choi. Honestly, there's a reason we've been eating this every single week for like the past year and a half. It is just so good, and honestly, we never get sick of it. Good morning and happy Wednesday. I am about to get into making my breakfast. I've actually got a pretty busy couple of days ahead. This is honestly quite a busy work week for me, which I know may be a little bit boring, and I honestly just like sit at my computer most of the time when I am working, but being busy definitely changes the way that I eat and makes me need to be more prepared than I usually can be. So I'm gonna prep myself some like overnight oats. I mean, they don't need to be overnight because they set in like an hour, but I'm gonna make some overnight oats for this morning, and I'm also gonna prep some to have for tomorrow morning as well, because I know tomorrow is also going to be a busy day. So yeah, that is my plan of attack for this morning, which I'm about to get into. But before I do, I want to say a big thank you to my friends at Squarespace for sponsoring this video. I'm honestly so grateful to be working with Squarespace because it's a platform that I genuinely love and use myself. I host my website, amandadux.com, on Squarespace, and honestly over the past few years there have been some really major things that I've been loving about Squarespace, like the ability to upload blog posts, which for me are recipes, really seamlessly and easily, the ability to be able to link all of my social medias in one place, and honestly just have a way for people who are new to my content to be able to check out my website and just sort of see what I'm about on various different platforms. Squarespace have also recently introduced Design Intelligence, which combines 2 decades of industry-leading design expertise with cutting-edge AI technology, and it helps you to unlock your strongest creative potential. And honestly, I feel like this is the perfect example of why I do love using Squarespace so much. They are always adding more to their platform and more services that you can use, which help you to market and grow and just like share your business with the world. I really love using Squarespace so very much, and that's why I continue to love working with them. If you are ever looking to host or design your own website or check out more of what Squarespace is about, you can go to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, you can go to squarespace.com/AmandaDux, and you can use my code, which is AmandaDux. It will get you 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. Okay, let's get into making breakfast. Okay, so making these oats is honestly so simple. I just add oats, chia seeds, chocolate protein powder, soy milk, and maple syrup to a bowl, and I whisk it together until it's smooth. Then I split it evenly between 2 jars to enjoy later this morning as well as tomorrow morning. And I didn't film when I ate these, but I very simply just added some strawberry soy yogurt on top of both of them, and they were a really simple and easy breakfast. For lunch on Wednesday, the focus was once again on a very quick and easy meal that I could enjoy during the workday, and I started by cutting up this barbecue tempeh that I have honestly been loving so much lately. I placed it in the air fryer to crisp up for about 10 minutes, and whilst it was crisping up, I prepped some cucumber and tomato. Then it was time to assemble my wrap, so I started with some cashew cheese, added some lettuce, the cucumber and tomato, added on the crispy tempeh, and then drizzled this with some barbecue sauce. I honestly forever thank my previous career in hospitality for my ability to roll a big wrap like this, so thank you to myself for working in hospitality for 8 years. After finishing work for the day, I was really keen on winding down by watching an episode of Survivor whilst I poured some love into a delicious dinner for my boyfriend and I. So that is exactly what I did. I am making my favorite lentil and walnut mince pasta sauce tonight, and I started by adding brown onion, garlic and olive oil into a frying pan before adding in ground walnuts, tomato paste, soy sauce and water, and mixing this together to make the base of the mince. Then I add in sun-dried tomatoes, which I've been loving in this dish lately, as well as smoked paprika, dried Italian herbs, tinned tomatoes and lentils. I reduce the heat to low and I leave this to cook away for about 10 to 15 minutes whilst I made a lovely side salad to go with the pasta. This was just some rocket, some pear, toasted walnuts and balsamic, and that was it. I tossed this together and I set it to the side whilst I served up this delicious pasta. I topped the pasta with some nutritional yeast and I enjoyed a really nice meal and a night in with my boyfriend. So as we know, Thursday breakfast was the overnight oats, but when it came to Thursday lunch, I was once again keeping it pretty simple. How many times can I say simple, quick and easy in this video, I wonder? Anyway, I'm pretty obsessed with this barbecue tempeh at the moment, so I made a barbecue tempeh sandwich with loads of fresh ingredients too. I started with some cashew cheese, then I added rocket, spinach, tomato and cucumber. Of course, it's then time to add on that crispy tempeh that I had cooked in the air fryer, followed by some pickled onions, and that was my delicious sandwich for lunch. Honestly, it was so good. In the afternoon, I was feeling a sweetie treaty and I decided to try this vegan mousse that I had found during my grocery shop just at my local grocery store. And truly, I think I've found a new favorite here because this was incredible. 10 out of 10. Would recommend trying it if you can find it in your supermarket. The texture was so good and honestly, it was just so delicious and so amazing. I was out and about on Thursday evening, and so I decided to pick up some takeaway on my way home from my favorite Indian restaurant. They have a separate vegan menu and it is just so good. I got myself a vegan korma as well as some vegan cheese and garlic naan, and it was the perfect cozy meal to end a busy day. Okay, so hey Tiggy, are you being a very sweet boy right now? Oh, are you the sweetest boy ever? We love that scratch. Okay, so good morning and happy Friday. Honestly, I'm feeling pretty tired this morning. I ended up getting home relatively late last night, and so I had a later night than usual, and I think it's just been a busy week in general, so it's definitely like hitting me on this Friday morning. I just had a bit of a slow morning this morning, which was really nice actually. I ended up just having some cereal for breakfast this morning, just with some soy milk, some soy yogurt and some fresh strawberries, and yeah, love a simple breakfast on a morning like this. And I just ended up sitting in the sun on the deck having that for breakfast, and it was a really nice slow start to the day, so that was really good. Today I'm actually physically going into work, so I have prepped my food to bring with me. I've got a couple of those sweet treats that I made earlier in the week to bring with me, which we obviously absolutely love. And then last night, as you would have seen, I got takeaway for dinner, so I just have some leftover vegan korma and vegan cheese and garlic naan to have for lunch, and of course taking myself a little sodally with me as well, which we know by now I love having with my lunch. I have one nearly every single day with my lunch. So yeah, that's kind of my plan for today. I'm going to get into the car now and head up to work. I'll honestly probably get myself a lovely little hot chockey or iced chockey on the way, and the sun is out. It's going to be a nice drive to work today, and yeah, it's actually going to be a really fun day ahead. I do have lots of fun things planned for this evening, which is nice. Having a bit of a girls' night, which we always love. Okay, so I loved having my leftover korma for lunch, and then after work I was going to be hanging out with my friends, and so I decided to head to the vegan markets which were on nearby. One of my favorite local vegan businesses called Pippa's Pantry was doing Taylor Swift themed cupcakes at the markets that night, and if you know my friends and I, you know how much we needed to try these, so I picked up a whole bunch of cupcakes, which we enjoyed for dessert that night. Before we got to dessert though, we had a girls' night with a fire, some drinks and some takeaway pizza. My pizza had tomatoes, pumpkin, vegan cheese, rocket, onions, and I think some sun-dried tomatoes too. It was really good regardless. So I had a sleepover with my friends that night, and then the next morning we had a home-cooked breakfast together. I kept it pretty simple again with some sourdough, smashed avocado, sliced tomato, salt and pepper. Bonnie also made me an iced cacao, which you know is the way to my heart, and it was just a lovely, simple and wholesome breakfast. Our plans for Saturday included watching Sex and the City and eating leftover pizza, so that is exactly what we did. I headed home on Saturday afternoon, and in the evening my boyfriend and I had a chill night in after a busy week, which was honestly so nice, exactly what I needed. Of course, we decided to have our favorite noodle soup for dinner, which is the exact same soup that I had had earlier in the week with some ramen noodles, a delicious miso and corn creamy broth, crispy tofu, broccoli and pak choi. It was so good. Sunday morning was a bit of a slower morning, which I loved, and I started my day making an iced cacao. Honestly, as we head into summer here in Australia, an iced cacao just really becomes the perfect way to start the day. My boyfriend and I love making tofu scramble on the weekends, so that is exactly what I decided to make for us today. And if you haven't tried my boyfriend's tofu scramble recipe, I recommend it so much. I used to hate tofu scramble until I tried his one, and now it is such a staple for me. I will leave the link below for you if you do want to try it out. Anyway, I served the tofu scramble on some toasted sourdough for the both of us, with cashew cream on the toast and pickled onions on the top. When it came to lunch, I was once again in the mood for some of this barbecue tempeh, and so I started by cutting some up and placing this in the air fryer to crisp up for about 10 minutes. I decided to serve this up in a bowl today with some brown rice, fresh greens, cherry tomatoes and diced cucumber. Of course, I then added the tempeh and I drizzled with a creamy lemon mayo sauce, which was really good. Honestly, just a wholesome Sunday lunch. Okay, it is raining so heavily right now. I don't even know if you're going to be able to hear me. What's that tiny? Okay, I'm not going to ramble on too much because I don't know how well you're going to be able to hear me over the sound of this rain, but I'm making a caramelized onion pasta for dinner tonight. It's one of my favorite cozy comfort meals, and I'm so keen for a cozy rainy night in with one of my favorite meals at the moment. So let's get into the cooking. Okay, so here is my delicious caramelized onion pasta. I'm so excited to enjoy this tonight and to have a lovely cozy night in. This is also going to bring us to the end of what I eat in a week, so I really hope you've enjoyed, and I hope you've found a new meal that you want to try out at home. I feel like this week was so busy, but I hope it gives you a realistic look at what I do eat on a typical week. And of course, I just want to say a big thank you for being here, watching this video and supporting me. I appreciate it and you so very much, and I look forward to seeing you next week in my next video. Okay, let's have some of this pasta.